Hi, I would just like to take a second and extend my warmest apologies, deepest apologies to any and all pets that were harmed or scared or woken up terrified in the last episode because I thought it was funny to bang on pots. My bad. I'm so sorry to them. Not to y'all, because y'all are killing me, telling me that you got scared and people almost spit things out and folks were at work with the volume turned all the way up and then people were looking at them from across the cubicles. I'm living. Oh, good times. This one's calmer. Let's get into it. Take 34. What's good, peacemakers? Welcome back to another episode of the Piece4PeaceCrafting Podcast. I'm Michael, and this is my yarny world here on YouTube. If you would like to find me on any other social media, you can check me out on Ravelry, if that is accessible to you, as Piece4PeaceCraft. I'm over on Instagram as Piece4PeaceCrafting, and there is a playlist for the group on Spotify at Piece4PeaceCrafting playlist podcast playlist. Oh my gosh, Piece4PeaceCrafting podcast playlist. And there's also a group in Ravelry, which is the Piece4PeaceCrafting podcast. Feel free to go over there and join that group if you would like. To everyone that's returning, what's up? To anyone that's new and a few new subscribers, welcome. Thanks so much for coming back to hang out for another episode. If this is your first time watching, hello. I hope you enjoy and you stick around for whatever it is I have to talk about today. How's everyone doing on this Sunday when I'm recording? So it's the 16th of January. Yeah, it's cold here, so we're not leaving the house. We went grocery shopping yesterday, so we could just hang out all day tomorrow, which is really great. I'm excited about that. It hasn't really been 2 weeks. It's been 10, 11 days since the last time I was with you all, so short amount of time, but still a lot to talk about. Things have been really chill for me. Work's been crazy, but not. Things are just weird with kids trying to go back to school here. And other than that, just been hanging out. If you notice, I did some reorganizing since the last time I saw you. I had a spark of creative juices, let's say, and was like, I need to reorganize all this whole stash that sits behind me. And what you can't see is a bunch of stuff that's in the closet that's to my left. So I went through everything, getting rid of a bunch of stuff. Actually, we have a second, I don't know what you would call it, is a second use, craft supply, just thing. So you can take, if you have paint that you're not house paint, but you're a painter and you have extra paints that you're not using, or brushes or yarn or crafty things, you can take crayons, school supplies to the store. You can donate it and then they sell it for cheaper for people who need those kinds of things, because sometimes you're not using everything. So anyway, I went through and I have 2 trash bags of yarn, mostly acrylic yarn that I've just had with me for a long time, and I knew that I was never going to get around to using it. And so I thought, if it's just going to be sitting in a closet and I haven't looked at it in a year, why not see if I can donate it and other people can use it. It's a lot of half skeins or skeins that have never been used. I did keep some of it because I do think that some of it is good to just like have around for like baby knits, things that you don't mind washing, stuff like that. So that's been really good. So now this is all organized behind me, which has really been a source of joy for me. I did everything by weight, and then this little bin, oh, where's my hand? This little bin is all hand spun, and surprisingly it's full. And yeah, so that's been really one of my fun activities, yarny activities that I've done recently. And I'm really stoked about, because now when I come into the room, not that I, more so now, everything's organized and I can just like look at it and be like, oh, okay, this is where this is. And I don't have to go searching for it anymore, which is bringing me a sense of peace and joy in my life. Other than that, I have a little bit to show you all today, and let's get into it. No finished objects. I've been like working on things and casting on all the things and planning for the next things. It's wild. Before we get started, this is just a little crochet hat that I made, I don't know, a couple years ago. It's got a little mint stripe on it, and I love it. Sometimes it's cute. Not cute. Those quick little crochet projects are a good time. Like, that's why I used to make a bunch of these hats. It was kind of crazy. And my friends and I would make them. One of my friends crochets as well. And so we'd make a bunch of them, either for friends, for ourselves. Really great. Love it, love it, love it. All right, let's talk about a couple of things. All right, so first up, last time I was telling you all that I was in San Francisco and we did some tie-dyeing, and my roommates are back, and so they brought the things that I tie-dyed before I left. Now I can show them. So the first thing was a pair of socks. I like that this one is really white, and this one has more of the purple on it. These were fun. We all did a pair. My roommates are green, which are really awesome. These were fun. Wrapped them up. Literally just like dabbed in a bunch of purple. Super excited to wear those. The second thing that I'm really excited about is I got a sock blank when I was at Dharma Trading Company, and I twisted it up and put a bunch of rubber bands all over it. And while everyone was dyeing things, I just went around and like sopped up all the extra dye that was just on the table and stuff. And so here is how that turned out. Now the ends are coming undone, which is totally fine. I think I'm going to reskein it and wash it so that it gets out some of the memory from being in like the sock blank, and then rewind it and knit it into socks. But here's how it turned out. What? So there's a bunch of purples and oranges and a little bit of red and some yellow, and then this end is green. So obviously the socks won't match, but like I don't care about that. I just think it'll be cool to have fun tie-dyed socks. Yeah, and I'll probably do them toe up so that I can use most of the blank while I'm doing that, which I think should be pretty fun. So what I'm going to do, like I said again, is I'm going to reskein it and then wash it to get out some of the memory from it being in the blank, and then I will divide them into two separate balls and then knit them from there. So one is going to be a little more purple and orange, maybe a little bit of the red, and the other one will have more of this like green and yellow and possibly a little bit of the red. I'm hoping that the red is smack dab in the center so that can be the top of the socks, but we shall see. Yeah, so this is a fun little experiment. Excited to see hopefully soon how this turns out. But once we get to the things that I'm working on, you'll see that's probably going to be in the summer. Okay, last thing is, in the last episode, I talked about why can't I think of the name of it? The love note that I made for my friend's mom. I got a picture of it, so I'll pop that in up here. Again, this was a really fun gift knit. My friend's mom had some yarn laying around, and it is Blue Sky Fiber Company. I'm trying to remember since I don't have it with me anymore. It's Blue Sky Fiber Company. It's 50-50 alpaca and silk. I think the colorway was 25, but like it didn't have like, this is cranberry, this is whatever. So yeah, it ended up being really great. She loves it. I was super excited about it. Crazily, don't know how, finished it in 5 days. And some of you have commented that we should do a knit along for a love note between podcast episodes, which I think is hilarious. But also maybe something we should do. So like to do it before Valentine's Day. So if that were the case, then we would start next week, or no, in 2 weeks. So the 20-something of January, and then I think when I was looking at the calendar, I think it would end just before Valentine's Day. So let's think about that. It might happen. A lot of people were commenting that they want to do a sweater knit along, and I was thinking I want to do another make along for my birthday month / past my birthday month, because that's what we did last year. And maybe that's the vibe, since everyone's like, oh, I want to make a sweater, let's do a sweater. Maybe that'll be the vibe. So we have a little bit of time before that, but the love note make along, let's think about it. If so, go through your stash, see if you have stuff to make one, and then in the next episode I'll talk more about it, and then we'll see if that's actually going to happen. That would give everybody 2 weeks to finish one, and then you'd have something fun to wear for Singles Appreciation Day, if that's something that you're into celebrating. All right, so those are my 2 things. I guess those are sort of FOs, since like they're dyed and they're done, but now they're going to become something else, which is just going into its next phase of its own life. All right, so a couple things that I've been working on. Where to start? Here, I'll start here. This one I'm not going to spend too much time on because I've talked about it a bunch, and I feel like, I mean, you all probably aren't bored of me talking about it, but I'm getting bored of me talking about it. That's not to say that I'm not enjoying knitting on it. So this is my, as all the yarn is twisted, this is my Kinship Shawl. The last time I was with you all, I was where this little yellow marker is. So I did a whole, stitches falling, they're not. I did a whole nother garter section, and then started the 3rd repeat of this little motif. Again, the colors, Eclipse Heather. This is white held with plover, which is a mohair, and then the gray is moonstone heather held with a silver. So it's giving it a little bit of a halo. It's great. I feel like it's not a lot of progress, but it is a lot of progress because these sections take a while and the rows are getting longer. So that's that. This has been my like sort of on the back burner projects, but it's still got some love, so that's all good. I'm just gonna keep chugging along at this. The great thing about this one is because it is a gift knit, there's no like, oh my gosh, what am I doing? There's no deadline for it. It's just, I'm making it and I'll send it once it's done. So if it's done in the next 2 weeks or it's done in the next 2 months, it's fine, whatever. My aunt's not gonna care about it. Or not gonna care either way when it gets to her. All right, so that's that. I'll talk more about it once it's finished, but I thought I should at least show it since I had worked on it a little bit, and you know, everybody gets to see a little bit of the process. All right, next thing. Oh my gosh. Oh, I'll come back to that. Okay, so the next thing is single malt. I'll pop a picture in over here. I hope that's helpful. I normally don't have or put the pictures in, but I started doing it maybe the last episode before. And so we're just gonna workshop it. I'm not gonna say that it's sticking around for forever, but maybe it's helpful to somebody. So this is the single malt. It's by Maxim Sear. I'm using, this just looks sad. I'm using this natural or nature's brown out of the Fisherman's Wool, which is a Lion brand yarn. It's 100% wool. And I am, this is gonna be awkward to show, but I started the sleeves. So here's the body, and then I started the sleeves. I'm doing them 2 at a time. Here's a little stitch marker. I can't remember where I got that from. Can you see that? It's Yzma from The Emperor's New Groove. She's wearing the sombrero when they go. I love that movie. When they go and they're like looking for Cusco. They're sitting in the restaurant and they come and sing happy birthday to her. Anyway, she's wearing her little sombrero. I'm doing these 2 at a time. I just recently finished the, what is that called? I just finished the decreases for the sleeves. And so now I just have to knit until they're the length of my arm, which now holding them up, I guess that's almost halfway. So the sleeves will be done fairly soon. And then I will go back and do the body of the sweater. Now I normally would do the body and then go back and do the sleeves, but this time I'm trying something a little bit different and doing the sleeves first. And I gotta say, it's really nice because I'm not that I would be over it. Like if I'd done it the other way, but like because it's fresh and new and I haven't done the body, it's like, oh, okay, like let's try and get this done. So if you are one of those people that maybe feels like, oh, you get on Sleeve Island, 1, try doing them 2 at a time, and 2, maybe the next sweater you make, try and do the sleeves first and then go back and do the body, because the body's kind of mindless, you know what I mean? Granted, it's not stockinette, it is still in the same stitch pattern, but yeah, I'm trying it out. I think it's worth it. I'm loving the pattern. The texture of the pattern is, I think the word is everything. It's everything. And again, I talked about this last time, but the detail of the raglan is absolutely beautiful. And, which, because I didn't really read further along in the pattern, I didn't realize that it goes down the back of the arm too. Shook. Once I got to that and I started doing it, and I was like, wait, this is another detail that is really major, and I am beyond here for it. So this is my single malt, loving it. I also have this little stitch marker, that's my beginning of the round marker. It says I'm trash because Toy Story's funny. And what's his name? Sporky was my favorite character. Hilarious. Hilarious. All right, so that's whip number 2. Whip number 3 is my Starflake shawl. Here's a photo of that, a finished photo of that. Again, this was the MCAL from 2019, which I did not participate in, but later on bought the pattern for. It's a Stephen West pattern. Really liked it and knew that I wanted to make one at some point. And so here we are. I'm using Blue Fiber Company for this. And both of these are, or both of the colors, both of the skeins, Both skeins of yarn are 80/20 superwash merino and cashmere, and there's 437 yards in each. And I'm using the colors Epic, which is this blue, and Shidori, I believe that's how you say it, which is this neon highlighter yellow. I wanted something that was loud and obnoxious. I'm knitting something that's loud and obnoxious, and I can't wait. So last time I showed you all this, I had just finished section 2 of the shawl, so where this little marker is. So I had one more of these little stripes to do, and then I went ahead and completed, it's kind of hard to show, although it is on stoppers right now. Let me do this. It's so loud. So I finished the whole brioche section and then did 2 rows of like the setup rows for the next section. And I love it. I'm really happy that I decided to go, I mean, the pattern says to do it too, although it does say that you can switch if you want, but to do the blue as the front color, or the color that lays on top on the main side, because I mean, as much as I love that neon yellow, the blue does tone it down a little bit. And then on the reverse side, the neon yellow really shines and looks really awesome. So I'm really excited about this. I read ahead in the pattern and didn't realize that there was going to be like a short row section. I was like, oh, I'm like almost done because I'd done the blanket. And so in my head, I was thinking like one part was next. And the pattern said, baby boy, it's not time for that yet. So I just need to do the short rows for this, which is going to extend it to make it a little bit longer, and then continue on with the part that I remember from doing the blanket. I'm absolutely loving this. The yarn being the 80/20 with the cashmere is like, it's not right. It's so good. And I can't wait for this to be done because I want to rock this already, especially because it's been kind of gray here. So just a little pop of color to like add to the grayness of it all. People will definitely see me in traffic. Let's just put it that way. So that's that. I'm really enjoying that project. I've said it before, like, shawls are my socks. I have enough. Don't judge. Don't do that. I have enough, and I will be making more. So that's that. Okay, so my last whip that I'm currently working on is a test knit for Jean-Philippe Cliche. It is a new hat pattern of his that is gonna be dope, I think, once it's done. I don't have a photo of that, but I will talk about where I am in the process. So, oh my gosh, dropping things. So for this, I am using, the Kinship is KnitPicks, and I'm also using KnitPicks for this test knit. And this time I decided, because I'd never tried it, and I've been wanting to because I've heard a lot about it, I'm using the DK City Tweed. Oh, and of course I didn't bring the bands in here. It's a DK Tweed. They come in 50-gram balls, and I wish I could remember the makeup of it. Oh wait, did I bring a thing in here? Oh man. Oh yes, here's one. Okay, so it's 123 yards for 50 grams, and the makeup is 55 merino, 25 alpaca. Oh yes, ma'am. And excuse me, 20% Donegal tweed. And so here are my two colors. So this is Harbor Seal, and this one is Orca. And then it's held together with a mohair, and this is Carbon. So the three of these, I just went with different shades of gray. look so different. Now I'm gonna show you how it's knitting up. But loving this. The tweed's awesome. It's really cool. The yarn's really soft. I'm obsessed with mohair all of a sudden. Who am I? All right, so this hat is like a hat with ear flaps. So I cast on last night and did the ear flaps because why not? And here's how it's knitting up. Now they look really big. The pattern is written for US 9. So it's definitely gonna like hug your face and keep you nice and warm. And it's cold here, so like I need this. But the thing that's really sending me is they look so different, just like on their own. And then mixed together, because you hold everything together, it's giving it a really dope marl effect. Now, it is a brioche hat. And I have never done just like a single color brioche. Granted, you're holding both of the DKs and the mohair together and then just working back and forth, knitting flat. So that for me was like a nice, not challenge, but because I started with 2-color brioche, it's interesting just to like have the one strand the whole time. But it's working up great. I'm really feeling the colors I used to have. Well, you'll see the hat once it's done, but it has a little brim and it's just cozy. And I used to have a hat like that and then I lost it. I didn't make it. It was like a Puma hat. It was really dope. I loved it. One of my favorites and really good when it was cold outside. So I'm happy to be test knitting this so that I can have another hat, another hat like that. And then this morning, so I did the ear flaps last night. And then the morning, because there's a little band that goes in the front, I just cast that on, have a little bit more to go in that, and then I will join all the pieces and yeah, do the like body of the hat. So this is this test knit, we're really enjoying it. The pattern I believe is coming out sometime next month, so in February sometime. So be on the lookout for it. I'll definitely be showing this again once it's done. I have a feeling it's not going to take me too much longer. If I really sat down today, I could probably knock out half of it. Oh my gosh, and tomorrow's the day off. So I could probably finish it over this long 3-day weekend. For those of us in the States, it's MLK Day tomorrow. So most of us have the day off. If you don't, I'm sorry to you. Yeah, so maybe I'll do that. Okay, sorry. Thinking out loud. So this is a new hat pattern. Excited to be testing it. That's all I got to say about that. Loving the yarn for it. In addition to that, something else that came in that package that KnitPicks sent me to do this test knit was maybe yarn for another sweater. Yikes. I'm not even done with this one and I'm already planning the next one, and that's okay. So the next thing that I have sort of lined up is I want to do the Anchors sweater, my boyfriend's size by Petite Knit. I'll pop a photo in here. And I'd seen Jonathan from Jonathan's Days podcast here on YouTube. I'll link his channel below too. Also, if you don't know, everything's linked below. Patterns, yarn, all that good stuff. I saw his and I was like, oh my gosh, I need to bump this up. In the things, not in my queue, because I don't really do that on Ravelry, but in like the list of patterns that I want to purchase. So since I was getting the other stuff for the test knit, I also got some of the Copra DK, and this is in the Hemlock Heather. Again, it's 123 yards per 50 grams, and this one is their 85 15 wool cashmere, and this is the color Hemlock Heather. So it's a DK sweater, and because I'm extra and apparently obsessed with mohair right now, I'm gonna be adding it with the Aloft mohair in Labyrinth. So it's a really, really dark green. So these two will be held together. Also, remember when I was going through a green phase? I guess I'm still in it. Excuse me. So I guess I'm still in a green phase, which is really awesome. I'm super excited to play with these two together. I think it's going to make for a really beautiful sweater. And yeah, I just want to try knitting a sweater for myself with mohair to see if I would like it. You know what I mean? Like, I've made one for someone else, and I've definitely used mohair in like shawls and stuff, and it doesn't bother me, but I wonder how it will feel wearing it just like all the time, you know, not all the time, but like wearing it out for the day, you know what I mean? You know what I mean. So these are soon to be something as well. Last thing I have to show is that I'm super excited about is, okay, so a while back, if you follow me on Instagram, maybe you remember this from my stories, but my spinning wheel broke. Maybe I talked about it here too. I don't really remember. But the band for the wheel snapped. So I had to ordered a new one, and then just didn't do anything. Didn't spin anything. And so I have plans for, and this fiber advent that I know I've talked about on here. I just haven't shown all the colors. So I have an idea for this fiber advent that I got for Christmas, and I needed to clear up my bobbins so that I could start working on that, because if I'm being honest, it's gonna be a big project because I'm spinning to make something for real now. Not just like doing it for practice, but actually doing it so that I can use the yarn that I'm making from spinning the fiber. It's gonna be a shawl. That's all I'll tell you for now. And once I get into the process of it, we'll talk more about it. But I'm hoping that, because I have to actually spin all the yarn for it, I'm hoping that by the summer, end of summer, let's be realistic. The end of summer, I'll have a completed shawl that's completely done on hand spun. So anyway, in order to clear off my bobbins, I had some fiber from Into the Whirl in the color Queen of France, I believe, that was already spun up. It just been like chilling, hanging out. And I needed to spin just like a plain, I had some, what was it? It's a 50-50 mohair wool, just like 2 ounces of it, which was perfect to go with what I had. I can't remember the dyer right now, but they too will be linked below. So I spun that up, and then I did a 3-ply of them, and so here they are on the bobbins. So what's really cool about this, is because of the way that I spun the braid, it definitely goes from like dark grays to sort of whitish pinks to light grays to like deep reddish color, burgundy, wine, whatever you want to call it color. And so the inside of this, because it stopped here, the inside of this one is like all red. What? Amazing. And if I can find the end, of course now I won't be able to, maybe I can do it on this one. Yeah, this is easier. So the one going through the whole thing is that like burgundy-ish color, and then the yarn that was dyed is like grays, sort of that color, whites on the like going throughout it. So today I'm hoping to, once I'm done recording this, I'm hoping to give this a bath and then hang it up. And for the next episode, I can show you what the finished yarn looks like. Really excited about that. Happy that's cleared off and I can finally start planning for this other project that I want to do. Excuse me. And then one thing that I wanted to talk about is, I've heard other people talk about this too, is like when I'm spinning, sometimes there's like yarn left over on the bobbin, right? Because like I'm not really consistent and I don't want anything to go to waste. So what I have decided to do is I just took like a toilet paper roll And I've been winding off the rest of the bobbin just onto this. So it has a place to live until I want to use it. Now there was another color that was under here, and I think what I'm going to do is just keep doing that. So like as I'm about to start this really big spin, just keep adding all the colors to here. And then once it's big enough, I'll probably just do like a Frankenstein skein where I will do, what is that called? A chain ply to all of it, and then just have that for funsies once this is full. So I thought maybe that's something that happens to you. Maybe you wonder, what am I supposed to do with the rest of this? Or maybe you're new to spinning and you're wondering what I'm supposed to do with this. This is what I'm doing. And I think that's gonna be cool. And because it's not on a bobbin, it's not taking up any space from other things, like if I wanna just keep spinning. So I thought that was neat. Hopefully you think it's neat too. All right, I think, friends, that's it for me for this episode. There is a music recommendation, but before we get to that, if you have enjoyed this episode, please feel free to share it with other friends that you might have who might enjoy it as well. And you can do all that fun YouTube-y stuff like comment, subscribe. Doesn't cost you anything. It's cool for me because we're building a bigger community here and more people can come and hang out with us. So my music recommendation for this week is, again, easing into the new year. And I will, full disclosure, I feel bad that I haven't seen this movie actually, but my music rec this week is going to be the soundtrack. I don't think I've recommended this before, to SuperFly. So this is Curtis Mayfield album, who did the soundtrack for the film. It's like a famous blaxploitation film. And Curtis Mayfield is from Chicago. Shout out to Chicago. Really great album. Love, love, love. It's got some really good grooves on it. So my recommendations from the album would be Pusher Man, Freddy's Dead, Gimme Your Love, so good, and obviously SuperFly. So those are my recommendations this week from this album. I will be adding all of them to the playlist over on Spotify. Again, that's a collaborative collaborative, same thing. Collaborative playlist, so it will be open once this episode goes live, and you can feel free to add any songs that you wish to that playlist. It'll stay open for a week, and then I will make it non-collaborative until the next episode. So now we're officially done. Thanks so much, you all, for coming and hanging out with me, spending a little time working on whatever it is you're working on. Yeah, I hope the next 2 weeks treats you well. And, oh, this is a month where I'll be doing another episode in the month. So we get 3 this month, which is so fun. Love when that works out that way. Yeah, take care of yourselves. Stay warm if you're in someplace cold. Go outside, sit on your porch with some tea if it's hot where you are. And until I see you all next time, don't forget, make a piece, spread some peace.